Brian, let's talk roads, bridges. We had the big mess with fiber bond because we don't have the roads to support that company. They were talking about moving to Texas. We have the I-49 intercity connector. I know you're opposed to that. Where do we stand in terms of the 13 or 14 billion dollar backlog? What do you suggest we do in Louisiana to fix these problems?
Yeah, well, it's actually a $17 billion backlog on maintenance and another $17 billion backlog on mega projects, which we don't have funding for, such as the I-49 you mentioned. And I'm fine with I-49. Loop it around the city like every other major metropolitan area has learned to do now, rather than bringing two freeways together and creating traffic and pollution in the center of a city. But I'm fine with it, and build a business boulevard and create commerce here.
So you would be for, what's it called, the 49?
Loop it.
No.
He's not for the intercity connector.
No, I understand that. Mm-hmm. But the term that is used for building the business boulevard, which would go through the Allendale neighborhood, you are in favor of that?
Yeah, because you have commerce, you have slower traffic, you have people on sidewalks.
Brian, we can't afford to do both. We can't do the loop it because we have to have a new Cross Lake Bridge, essentially.
No.
And that's what they claim, because it's not up to interstate standards. And then also build a business boulevard. We don't have the money to do both.
Well, I-20 is not up to interstate standards too, but we drive on it every day. That's one of the things we need to fix. That's why we can't afford to build mega projects.
So what do we do? What do we do to fix our problems? Do we increase our gas tax? Do we find the money elsewhere? What do you suggest?
Well, let me give an example that we had a solution right in our lap and we threw it away. And Alan was part of that. This is a Jimmy Davis Bridge, and some people may see my signs, fix our bridge now. We need to replace that bridge. I have a colleague at LSUS several years ago driving across the bridge, and a bolt this big fell on her windshield and almost killed her. She arrived on campus with her windshield in her lap.
So now we're talking, pardon me, now we're talking I-49 loop, money for that. Business Boulevard, money for that. Jimmy Davis Bridge, money for that. Back to Aaron's question, is how does the state of Louisiana, when Dr. Sean Wilson says we need $600 million per annum just to maintain what we have, where does that funding come from?
Well, we actually have $700 million per annum already. We need to spend it appropriately. We can't go spend $800 million on a 3.6 stretch of freeway and ignore all of our other things. And by the way, that's a stretch of freeway that's going to destroy an opportunity for young people to have affordable housing next to downtown, which is what every young person today wants. So a young person doesn't want to live on the Southern Loop. They want to live by downtown.
The Brian Salvatore priority list. Jimmy Davis would be number 1, Business Boulevard number 2, 49 Intercity Connector number 3, or just no 49 Intercity Connector at all?
Well, I'm fine with the loop and the business boulevard. I love it. The loop is only 5.6 miles longer. And when I go to a city, and if I want to get to the city on the other side of it, I drive around it. If I want to get to the city where I'm going, I'll take the business connector there and I'll go and I'll be happy.
When you were here
I-49 delivers us right to downtown already.
When you were here before, we had talked about what you thought the appropriate gas tax in Louisiana would be. Mm-hmm. And it's what, 18 cents a gallon right now, I think. To pay for this, do you think that the DOTD is currently adequately funded? And if not, where would the funding come from to give it the cash it needs?
I believe it's 20 cents. I know for sure that it's identical to what Texas's gas tax is. And there's a limit because of that reason, and because Texas is a large economy, that we don't want to put ourselves in an uncompetitive position. The gas taxes fluctuate all the time. If somebody's going to make a deal about a nickel or a dime, well, what about what happened this week? It went up 30 cents for totally market reasons. So people have this ideological block about minor changes in taxes. I think if we do economic development right in this state, we're going to have enough money to do everything we need to do. But we need to also put our priorities in order first and fund things correctly.